Hello friends, back again, computer science second PC classes. That's in the unit B, computing in C++. Students, I have already completed 9 chapters. In the ninth chapter, we have discussed about constructor and destructor in C++. Today, let us discuss the next chapter, that is chapter 10, inheritance, means extending the classes. Getting inside to the chapter, let me present in front of you the objectives of this chapter. The first one tells us to understand the concept of inheritance. Second one, usage of inheritance. The third one, the role of visibility mode used in inheritance to implement in C++ language. The fourth one tells about levels of inheritance, means type of inheritance. The next part, concepts of virtual base classes. After that, concept of abstract classes. And the last one tells us constructor and destructors in derived classes. So this is what we are going to learn at the end of this chapter, and we will come to know. Just a pictorial idea for you people what comes in this chapter mainly. Of course, I have here 4-5 pictures. I kept it in front of you. That is about the single inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance. This is actually types of inheritance which we can make use of in OOP, that is object oriented programming. And what we are going to learn C++ language, in this also we can implement it. Anyway, I just wanted to present what exactly we are going to learn in this chapter, that is contents. Of course, a little bit introduction about inheritance and need for inheritance in C++. Why really we are going to use it. So we are defining a derived class, how exactly it is. Then visibility modes when we are creating the derived class. So we are making use of public, private, protected. This is what we are going to see. And we are keeping in front of you, and that means we are going to see what are the different forms of inheritance. The single level, multi-level, multiple, hierarchical and hybrid inheritances. Then we are going to see the relationship between the classes, that is what virtual base class, abstract class, and then constructor and destructor are going to used in derived classes. This is what we are going to learn. So let me begin with the introduction part. Inheritance is another important aspect of object oriented programming. We have learned in chapter 6 the characteristics of object oriented programming. In that, one is inheritance. So that's the reason I said it's an important aspect of object-oriented programming. Now, what is inheritance? Inheritance is the capability of one class to inherit properties from another class. In our C++ program or any object-oriented language, if you take, we are defining the classes, and we are creating the object of that type of classes. How many classes you can have in C++ program? If it is question comes in front of you. In C++ program or any object-oriented programming language, you can have any number of classes. There is no restriction that you can have only one or only two or only three, not like that. You can have any number of classes. There's a sometime possibility will be there. I have already one class. I'm going to create one more class, and in that some of the properties what is already in existing classes are there, no, which we are using. So that time, can I take those property already defined one? Question comes. In normal structured programming language, it is not possible. In one structure, if some properties are there, when you're going for a new structure in a same program, whether it is possible to access those properties in that is not possible. But in C++, that especially in object-oriented programming language, it's possible. And this is possible, that is a special feature given by OOP for us, that what we are calling for that? Inheritance. The inheritance means which you can inherit the properties already existing class while creating the new class. You can call those properties which are there. So that means the C++ allows to user to create a new class. What you are calling? That is derived class from existing class, and that we are calling as a base class. So I can, while creating the new class, which is I am calling derived class, I can make use of the properties of the existing class, that is what base class. Now what is base class? Base class, it is the class whose properties are inherited by another class. That is called a base class. It's already defined the class. Already member data, member functions are there in that. That can be accessed by the new class. So that is also called superclass. In case if you get question, what is superclass? That is nothing but base class. So let me keep it in front of you. What is derived class? Derived class means it is the class that inherits the properties from the base class. That means you are going to create a new class is there, no? And you are making use of the properties of the existing class. Such type of classes are called derived class. Simply if you are going to create a new class, we cannot call it as a derived class. From the existing one, by accessing the properties of existing classes, so such classes are called derived classes. Also, we are given name for this subclass also. Base class we are calling superclass, and derived class we are calling subclass. So this is a basic idea for you people. So a simple word is inheritance and makes really new things in object oriented programming. So we'll see really we need inheritance, that is a need for inheritance in C++. Let me take a one simple context so that to make you clear. Suppose X is a class already defined. We have created already X class. Imagine, okay, and we need to redefine another class Y, and this class has the same properties of class X. Also, in addition, its own. There are class whatever X is having, the properties are there in that. Also, it is addition to some new properties are there. Now, suppose if we use direct option without inheritance, then what are the problems we may face? That is, first one, the code written X repeated again in Y, because the properties what is X is there, that will be used in Y also. So this may lead wastage of memory, unnecessary wastage of memory. Got it? See, what is X is there, that is using in Y. If you are not using inheritance, that means we are defining in Y. So of course, which leads to wastage of memory. The next one, the testing to be done separately for both X, Y class. This leads to wastage of time. Anyway, we are going to do testing part both the class separately, but if you are not using inheritance, same properties will be repeated here in Y, and same that testing part has to be repeated. Whatever you are doing for X, no, that is same thing you have to repeat here. So this is leads wastage of time. Consumption time will be more. If you will make use of inheritance, this will not be there. And you can this is already tested, no? So then why again you have to test in class Y? Not necessary. You can make a move directly. So you can save that time. You can save the memory also. So the above problem can be solved by using the concept of inheritance. Students, I think you are understood, I think you are getting in your mind. So it is small program, okay. If it is big program is there, then. Now example I will give you. If you are going for a picnic, 3-4 people are you are going, and you are preparing a bag to carry, but the people who have organized picnic for you people, they have already told you people make a minimized bag, don't take it big bags, they want minimized items. And if you are 3-4 people, if you are going, if you are carrying separate toothpaste, if you are carrying separate shaving items, if you are carrying separate, if you are making separate, then it may be items may increased in your bag. If you 3 of them speak together, and if you plan it in such a way that, so you can minimize the items. You can carry one toothpaste for all 3 of them. right? Or there are some items you can carry only one shaving kit but different razors. The same items can be used others also. You can carry one tissue box and same box from that tissues can be accessed by all three. So this is the way, what do you know, you can reduce your packing. What is I am trying to say, this is just an example, real time example here also. If you are creating in the class X is having the sum of the properties, that can be, reuse it in class Y. Reuse it in class Y. Means, if we use the code of X even in Y without rewriting it, class Y inherits all the properties of X. Now here X is called base class and the Y is called derived class. So why we need inheritance, the basic idea you got. So let me present in front of you the main advantages of inheritance. If we make use of inheritance in our C++ program, what are the advantages? The first one says reusing the code. The second one says faster development time. The third one says easy to maintain. Fourth one says easy to extend. Fifth one says memory utilization. Now altogether I'll put it together for you people, I'll make you clear. See, as I told with you, repetition you can avoid. That means whatever code is there in the existing class, that is the base class, that will be same code will be used in the derived class. So that means reusing it. Now you are not writing once again in class Y. So that means faster development. Now you are now reusing it, so that code will be minimize it, so you can easily maintain it. Now see, you know it that there are many properties you are repeating, you are making use of in extended class, so that easily you can extend still more. If you wanted to extend, easily you can extend, and memory utilization will be reduced by we are making use of inheritance. So these are the major advantages of making use of inheritance. So students, if it comes for 1 or 2 marks or 3 marks, you can present it this is a way. Just to remember in the previous example what is I said. Class X and class Y. The sum of the properties of the class X will be used in class Y. So by using inheritance, I can save the time, development time, that is, it becomes faster. I can reuse the code, easy to maintain, easy to extend, and saves the memory. These are those points you can keep it in your mind easily. See, what are the disadvantages of inheritance? The first one is there, inappropriate use of inheritance makes programs more complicated. See, while organizing any C++ program, you have to make use of in a proper way. In case if you are not using in proper way, then of course it leads complication. Got it? So this is the one major disadvantages will be there. So appropriate usage, if it is not there, then it leads to the complication overheads. Then calling member function using object creates more compiler overheads. Now that's the problem is there. Now if you are going for an inheritance, not a big task. How you will call the member function? That is the one problem is there. Okay, so that may, compiler overheads is there, it belongs to which class, and if you are using function name similar way, that is also maybe gives problem. Okay, and if you're using function overloading, so when we are going for an inheritance, so we have to be very sure that while creating the object, which function it should call. Okay, so these are the major two disadvantages if you're going for an inheritance. Yes, students, this is what need for inheritance in C++. Okay, so let me give an idea for you people defining derived classes in C++. Now derived class is a composite class, means it inherits members from the base class and adds members of its own. You can have its own also, you can take from the existing class. Now when you are deriving the classes and you are writing derived classes, how exactly you will do in C++? That is a general form. I just wanted to keep it in front of you. When you declare a class, you can indicate that what class is derives from by writing a colon after the class name and the type of derivation and the class from which it derives. That's just here. This is what class, and you are writing the derived class name, and just now I said colon and then visibility mode and then base class name and then class body. Correct? Now here class, of course it is a keyword, just now I told, and a derived class name is the name of the derived class what you are going to give, and then colon is shows that it is from whom you are deriving, that is you are establishing inheritance, right? So whom you are deriving, that it shows derivation from base class, means from which base class you have to specify. The next comes visibility mode. Okay, now you are inheriting properties. Now you have to that mode, visibility mode, you have to make use of. There are three types of visibility modes are there. How exactly we are used to access specifies, no, same. You can make use of your visibility mode, public, private, as well as protected. So it specifies the type of derivation. And the next one is the base class. The base class means, no, from whom you are deriving. From whom you are deriving. So that class name you have to write. This is a general form of derived class. I think I made you clear. But I can give you still more clear by giving an example. Okay. So let me define the derived class by public derived class. Now what is public? The mode, what visibility mode is there, no, that is public. Okay, so I'll create one simple class. So this is here class father I'll create. Now this is, I'll call it as a base class. Okay, now here in the private section I'll create a name one variables. In the public section I'll create caste and age. Now here there are 3 member data is there in this class. In that name member data is made as a private, and other 2 member data, caste as well as age member data, we made it as a public, and read data is a member function that we put it in the public section only. So this is a father class. I'm creating one more class, that is a derived class, that's class son, colon what I have used. So from whom we are deriving, no? So what type of visibility mode I used? Public. And father. So this is a base class, no? So I am writing here father name. That means a base class name, that is a father. And in this class, there's a properties whatever is there in here that I can make use of here. And here I've added one new member data for this class, that is gender. And in the public section I used function is display. These 2 are additional to this class, but whatever in the existing in father class, no, that and everything I can make use of here. But the character gender and void display, these are the 2 new member for class son. And here this is public mode is there, that means all here whatever is there that I can make use of here. That is in the public section what is there in the class father, no, that I can make use of in class son. Similar way, let me show you the private derived class. This is just defining the derived class. So I have used base class same way, the class father, and in the private section I used name, and in the public section I used caste, age, and member function read data. And I have created derived class, that is class son, but the visibility mode is there here now, private, and the base class name is father. Now here I made use of same thing that I have created in the private section. I created gender member data, and in the public section void display is there as a member function. But here the visibility mode is there only private. Okay, similar way, protected derived class. Now base class, similar way for this what we are using in this it is there, that 3 member data, one is in the private section, 2 are there in the public section, and in the public section read data member function is there. And we created the derived class son, the visibility mode is there here protected, and the base class name is father. And in the private section what we have seen in the last 2 example, member data is there, in the public section member function is there. In all 3 places the visibility mode only changed, rest everything is same. How it works? If you are making use of public visibility mode, if you are making use of private visibility mode, and if you are making use of protected visibility mode, how it works. What are the differences there? These are those things we are going to see and we are going to learn. Not in this session, in the next session. Because if I take that, I will not able to finish within 5-6 minutes. This is already a session I have taken up almost half an hour. So I'll discuss the visibility modes in the next session. So before concluding this session, I just wanted to give an idea. These all three classes are working same way, but the access of those member data and member function will be purely depend upon the visibility mode in the derived class. Students, keep it in your mind. The access of those member data and member function of base class will be depend on the visibility mode in the derived class. If it is public, if it is there, then it behaves in the publicly way. If it is private means then how it becomes. In the protected means then how it becomes. Dear students, so I'm going to conclude this session with these points. That is, we have already seen the introduction of inheritance, why we need inheritance in C++. With the example we understood, and then if we make use of inheritance in C++ program, what are the advantages are there as well as the disadvantages we had gone through it, and then defining derived classes by public mode, private mode and protected mode we have seen in session 23. And we are going to see that visibility modes, different forms of inheritance and the relationship between classes in the coming session. Students, I'm very grateful that you people are going through my sessions. I'm helping in offline mode, that is not a direct presence of mind, but still through the technology I'm explaining this concept. So if you really like it, please refer to your other friends who are studying computer science and ask with them to subscribe my channel. Thank you. May God bless you. Have a great day.